As you can see, I have lots of Christmas lights on my house, and so every year I'm adding a little bit more, but I'm running out of places to store the lights. I've started to convert over to individual bulbs, mostly made by a brand Tru-Tone, and they're not cheap, so I've been keeping them on wire racks in my garage, which works okay, but the wires are not completely flat to hold the boxes, and some of the boxes are in front of other boxes. So I've been trying to use them a little bit more throughout the year to get more out of my investment, but when one box is behind the other box, it's kind of hard to take them all down and find the box in the back, and then I just have random boxes hanging out throughout the house for a couple days, and of course that doesn't go by very well. At the top of my steps I have this area that's just full of a mess, and I'm going to remove some of these, probably just move the mess somewhere else in the house, and put some shelves on this wall right here, and this is where I can hopefully put all of my light bulbs and stack them on top of each other so they're not in front of each other. So I ordered some hardware from Amazon, so let's go open that box and see what it looks like. I also ended up ordering wood from Lowe's, and they delivered it to me with UPS. So let's see how that worked out. All right, let's check out this shelf hardware. I purchased these on Amazon. I was just trying to find something that would have a flat shelf, that would not have huge brackets that make it harder to put boxes underneath the shelf. I have some brackets where I keep some camera stuff, and because the brackets stick out, they're kind of a little inch in every area that's just not useful. So these are something that are completely new to me, not necessarily new, but let's see what they look like. Here we have the brackets. Let's take one out. These are just from Amazon. I don't know anything really about them. I purchased them. These are solid. That's what I was hoping for. This is overkill for Christmas lights, but I wanted something that was somewhat decent. I don't know. Yes, it did. It came with screws. Let's check out the screws real quick. Looks like drywall screws, pretty normal. Maybe a little tougher than drywall screws, but looks like they are machined well. They'll fit in there. They have a flat top, so they'll be all flat in there. That's nice. I usually like to paint my screws if they don't come with any so that they match. But what I can do is use this to put it either this way so that my board will fit on top, and then there's nothing underneath that's holding it up. And this is strong enough that it doesn't look like it's going to bend. I mean, this is solid. This is way more sturdy than I was expecting. This is cool. So I can either have it this way so that the wood is on top, or if I want a little bit of, I don't know, an industrial look where I see that down there, I can put it this way and the board will be on top. I don't think either way it's going to bend, but these are the shelf brackets that I'm going to use. I bought 12 of them, so I'm going to have 6 shelves, hopefully, by the time I am done. I think that'll give me a pretty decent amount of room for all of my Christmas lights. I don't know how far apart they'll be from the top to bottom. I'm beyond impressed. I wasn't expecting it to be this nice of quality. It's one piece. So real quick, after looking at this, if you have a stud in your wall, the screws are on both sides. You're not gonna be able to screw it into a stud. So unless you go this way and put a shelf out here, but that doesn't make any sense. And if you do it sideways, that doesn't make any sense. So if your wall is going up and down and you're screwing it in, you're only gonna get 2 of these into the stud, like that. So we'll get to that when we get to it, but something to think about. But I think they're gonna look nice, and I'm not putting anything too heavy, but because these are so solid, they can hold a lot more than this little design issue. If the screw holes were right here in the middle, it would make a lot more sense, you know, but because they're over here, that's just kind of weird, but we'll figure it out. Anyways, let's go see how shipping wood to my house actually worked out. Here's my wood order from Lowe's. Do you need to order wood and have it shipped? No, but because they were offering to do it for free, I was like, why not? I was really just going on the website to see what kind of wood they had so I could go pick some up. And then it was like free shipping to your home, so I did. I ordered it on Sunday, it said it would come Wednesday, and then on Tuesday it said it was delayed. And as you can see, it's pretty beat up. And then I ordered 6 pieces of wood. I got a refund for 2. So I'm assuming there's only 4 in here. There's actually already a hole. The UPS man said, you know, it was like that when he had it, I could return it. But I was like, nah, but it looks like it got beat up pretty good. But we're just going to cut it open and see how it looks. Well, they have air pockets. 1, 2, they're all empty. 3. I mean, you're shipping wood. I don't know. I've never done this before. Not something I would normally do, to be honest. So I just have 4 foot by 10 inch boards, which is really you know, 9.5 or something, but nominal. And this is actually in really good shape. This is probably better shape than I would have even found at the Lowe store. There's only 4. So I did buy an 8-foot board, and I put that just in my little Honda Civic, which I can easily carry an 8-foot board. But this looks to be better quality than the 8-foot board that I got locally. So for having it shipped, these are finished on 4 sides. I could have finished it. Really nice, actually. So I am happy. They did not charge me for shipping. I would have not paid more for shipping. I would have just gone over to the store to get it. And so now we're gonna get started. These are all 4-foot boards. So the first thing I need to do is I need to make them 3.5 feet, because that's how long my wall is. So I need to have 3.5-foot boards. So I'm gonna run them through the chop saw, get them to the right length. Then I'm going to put them on the table saw, and I'm going to cut off about 1 inch on each side so that it matches the Starlight. The Starlights are the largest box that I have. So as long as Tru-Tone or Twinkly or someone else doesn't make larger boxes, I will just use these shelves. And then I will run them through the router, and I will edge off the corners just to make it look a little bit nicer so it's not so sharp. Then when I'm done, I should have 6 boards that are all 3.5 feet long, and they will all have rounded edges. We will take some walnut and we will stain all of these. I think I actually have like a little bit of a red walnut. I'm using a color that I don't normally use, but I don't want to spend any extra money. And because these are all together, they'll all be the same shade, a little bit different shade than other shelves in the house, but you won't be able to see them at the same time. And then when that dries, I will put a protective seal on top. Then it might take a few days, we'll let it dry. And then when all that is done, we will be ready to go hang them on the wall. And we're back after a whole month. We are after Christmas, and we are inside for a snow day today. I'm finally going to put up this shelf so that I can hang up all of these Christmas lights over here and put them on this shelf. So we're going to use our brackets, and like I said, it has 4 screw holes, but there's nothing in the middle, so we are gonna have to use these filler pieces on the side. So 2 of the screws will go into the stud, 2 of them will go into the drywall holders, and we have long screws that will go into the drywall, and we have short screws that will go in to the bottom of the shelves that are all done, that are down there on the floor. We have a 2-foot level tape measure, we have a hammer, we have 2 drills. One just has to screw in the screws. This one is what I'm going to use to put the drywall braces in, and we have a stud finder. I will try not to make a stud joke. Pencil. So now let's get started with these on the wall. I assume most people who are watching this have seen a shelf go up, so we won't take too long, but we'll put up one of the first brackets and see how well it will hold. So I have my stud right here. 2 screws will go into the stud and 2 screws will go into the drywall holder. So I used a 5/16 drill bit and drilled holes where these drywall holders will go. And I'm just going to hammer that in real quick. And now let's put in this drill bit. We're gonna start on this to make sure that this side fits. I'm not wanna go in too far. And this last 2 will go into the stud to give it more of its strength. Let's try to get it somewhat level. I do want it level. It's gonna hold. And we hit a stud, so that's good. And this is where the long level comes in handy. So I can come all the way over here to make sure that my shelf is level. I will mark it. And that is where my other screws are going to be. That should hit a stud right there, being in the corner. I did make my drill bit a little bit smaller for this side because the other ones were moving a little bit as I screwed them in. So this should make it a little bit tighter. Let's see what we hit. Yep, there is a stud there. So we will have 2 on the stud and we will have 2 in the drywall. All right, you've got all the screws on. Let's come hang up our shelf. There we go. Let's see how level we are. Good enough. Look at that, pretty close. Like I said, this is just holding my Christmas lights. And now I should be able to sort and put all of my lights up here inside, no longer in the garage, and they will not fall. So now we have these little screws on the bottom that we're going to screw into the shelf so that it will not move. And these seem like decent screws, maybe a little bit stronger than drywall. So they seem like a pretty decent screw. I like that they're black. And I like that it came with screws, because a lot of times they don't come with screws. And then what I do is I spray paint screws so that they'll work. And there is our first shelf. And now let's do the next one. So I want the next one to also hold 4. I'm going to have to figure out a little bit of space right there where I want my shelf to be. So we'll put it about right there. Call it good. So let me finish all of these shelves and then we'll come back when they're all up. These shelf brackets really were not that hard to put in. It probably took me about 20 minutes to get all of these in. You just have to make sure you level it. And it's kind of cool because you can screw screws in from the bottom and it holds the shelf so they will not move. But as you can see, I'm starting to put the Tru-Tone cases on, and then I started to work on shelf number 3. Didn't take as long. As I started to get used to it, I used 2 screws and 2 drywall holders, and we were all set. I did it. I finished my shelf with all of the Christmas lights. I think it just looks cool. Which is partly kind of why I wanted to do it. It's a lot of money to just be sitting around here all year. And so now I can use it hopefully throughout the year, and I can find the lights and go put them around the house. It was kind of hard before because I had them in the garage up high, but now I can see everything. So thank you for watching this quick little update as I'm putting away my Christmas lights for the year. See you next time.